Hey yo, what's good? My last video before the Triple G video was reasons why I thought that the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight happening at this time is not such a great thing. How the fight's not gonna be really good or really that competitive at all. That was me looking at this fight in a half empty type of way of thinking. I was thinking negatively, pessimistically. But I said I would make a part 2 of that video that would be me looking at it in a more positive light. Why this fight happening is gonna be great. It's gonna be the biggest event in sports history. It's gonna be the greatest thing that ever happened in sports, right? That's what this video is about. And I'll try not to be so facetious. I'll try not to be so sarcastic because I am excited about this fight happening. But like I said in my other video, it is 5 years too late for this fight happening. But I already discussed that in my video. Let's get to the positive things and what will make fight happening great. Great for the sport, great for boxing, great for these guys' legacy. Speaking of legacy, these guys' names will always be intertwined with each other because they're the best fighters in their generation. And finally, we could prove who is the better fighter. Finally, all those discussions, all those racist comments, dude, nasty comments in YouTube, on the ringtv.com website, on any forum that discuss boxing. Everybody would mention Mayweather or Pacquiao. Mayweather's ducking Pacquiao. Oh, Pacquiao's doing drugs, all this jazz. But finally, we get to settle it. Who is the better man? And no matter what, someone's going to get butthurt. Pacquiao's going to get butthurt. Flomos are going to get butthurt. Someone's going to get butthurt because someone's got to lose. But that's the great thing, because we could speculate all day on who's gonna win, but if the fight never happens, then we will never know who is the better fighter. And thank God that this fight is finally gonna happen, dude. And this fight will also bring a lot of attention to the sport of boxing. A lot of mainstream minders, a lot of guys from ESPN, they'll finally start covering this fight at least. A lot of casuals will watch. Millions and millions of people will order this fight to watch it. People will want to watch it and will want to watch. And if this fight's good, which I will not think it will be as competitive as it once would have been. If it's competitive, this will create long-term fans, which will support the sport of boxing. Which that's always a good thing, especially if it has a good undercard. But it has the potential to be competitive. Pacquiao is very awkward. Mayweather has never faced anyone like him, and Pacquiao has never faced anyone as talented as Mayweather. But these guys are both talented. They're both the greatest of this generation, and you best believe they will be in the greatest shape of their lives for this fight. There will be no half-assing. Pacquiao will not. The Pacquiao that fought Timothy Bradley the first fight, or that fought Mosley, or that fought what other fight did he kind of half-assed? Juan Manuel Marquez the third time. That Manny Pacquiao will not show up in this fight. It will be the best Manny Pacquiao humanly possible. Also, the Mayweather that fought Maidana twice last year will not show up to fight Manny Pacquiao because he knows that Manny is the greatest fighter that he's ever faced. And there's no question about that. That Pacquiao is the best opponent he's ever faced. And don't get me wrong, I said this fight won't be competitive, but it doesn't mean that Pacquiao's not a great fighter or a legend or a future Hall of Famer. It just means that I don't think Pacquiao is as great as Mayweather. And he is farther from his prime than Mayweather. He's been knocked out. He's looked really bad. He's been robbed. He couldn't put away Algieri. So 2010, Pacquiao would have put out Algieri 3-4 rounds max. He would have raped the floor with him more than he already did, you know? But if anyone's got to beat Mayweather, it's gonna be Pac. It's gonna be Pac. I don't think it's gonna be competitive, but if it is, this will bring new eyes to the sport, and that's always a good thing. Always bring popularity to the sport as well. This generates a lot of money for the sport of boxing. So hopefully Bob Arum gets a lot of money. HBO, even Mayweather, Pacquiao, they could invest into the sport of boxing. We all know Manny Pacquiao loves Manny Pacquiao. Bob Arum loves Bob Arum. Floyd Mayweather loves Floyd Mayweather. But they could still give a little bit back into the sport of boxing because they're gonna get a lot of money from this fight. So I'm trying to think of more positives. There was more negatives than positives in my book, but I think those are pretty good positives. Showtime and HBO finally working together. They realize how big this fight is, the magnitude of this fight. Let the egos get out of the way, everybody. Let the egos get out of the way. Finally, if Mayweather wins, he could finally brag about that he's the best in this generation. He could say he's TBE. He could say whatever he wants. He was not TBE, even if he knocks out Manny Pacquiao the first round. He was not TBE. But still, I'm hoping this is a good fight. I don't think it will be. But, and another reason that people want to magnify the greatness of this fight, it will be the greatest pay-per-view event of all time. The biggest event in boxing history. Biggest in terms of popularity. Maybe not in excitement, but definitely in popularity. Definitely. I think most countries will have this fight. Most people will want to watch it. Anybody who's ever heard of the sport of boxing, or who's ever heard of Manny Pacquiao, or who's ever heard of Mayweather will want to watch this fight because it's been talked about so long. And this fight does not need any longer promotion. That's why I'm glad that it's in May and not like in July or something, because you don't need that much time to promote this fight because it's been promoting itself the last 5 years. It doesn't need to marinate, as Bob Arum put it, for the Juan Gamboa fight. Man, I still wish that fight would have happened. That fight would have been so good. But alas, this fight's going to happen, and it has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. I don't think it will live up to it, but it's going to bring a lot of new eyes to the sport, and hopefully this fight inspires a lot of kids to get into the sport of boxing. That would be so cool. They get into the sport of boxing because they watched the biggest fight in sports history, and it was an amazing fight. Oh, I could just imagine if this has a controversy. I'm trying to be positive, guys. I'm trying to look at this half full. But I just don't see the light in the end of that tunnel. That's it. This will be a great event for boxing, great event for sports, pretty much. But it will be a great event for Mayweather, mostly, and then for Pacquiao, and then for the promoters involved, and then for the broadcasting companies, and maybe lastly will be for the fans that paid a lot of money to watch this fight. So, if there's some positive aspects of this fight happening that I didn't mention, I'm sure there is. A few. But if there's a reason why you're excited in this fight and why you believe this will be the greatest thing that ever happened in sports history, leave your comments, please. Please, what do you think? Is this the greatest thing that's going to happen? The biggest potential? Is it going to live up to it? Please let me know in the comments. Thumbs up. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.